Caps and Oilers soon to unfold here at Rexall Place, where hockey's religion and sometimes it can get a little bit unholy. Joe Beninati, Craig Laughlin still setting the scene for tonight, and doing so with a peek at the starting netminders.
Well, it's going to be Holtby against Scrivens here tonight. Holtby gets the nod for Coach Barry Trotz here against the Edmonton Oilers. You take a look at Braden Holtby. He's 2-0-1, 1.85 versus the Oilers' lifetime 3-0 with a .964 save percentage. Ben Scrivens, numbers not flattering at 1-3, 8.62. The last two games, Joe, be better. A goals against over just 1.5, and he's stopping 94% of the shots.
Two teams that'll see each other twice this season. NHL play this Wednesday night. Braden Holtby about 2 hours from home. Lloydminster, Saskatchewan. Very much looking forward to this effort and the performance against Edmonton, a team that he has had terrific success against in his young NHL career. The Caps and the Oilers, it was supposed to be one of 4 this evening, but there was a game postponed in Ottawa in the aftermath of a shooting incident. And in light of those tragic events in Canada's capital of Ottawa, we pay our respects with PA announcer Mark Lewis.
Join us in a moment of silence as we pay respect to our men and women serving in the Canadian Armed Forces who protect our freedom and way of life, and for our fellow citizens, both those who lost their lives and those recovering from their injuries. Thank you. Fans, we would ask you now to please continue standing, remove your hats, and join Samantha King with the singing of the U.S. and Canadian national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A job very well done by Miss Samantha King inside of Rexall Place, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. The NHL on Comcast Sportsnet tonight. Joe Beninati and Craig Laughlin with you as we get set for the Caps and the Oilers. We preview with Star Trek presented by Toyota. Exciting talents who can really wheel.
Yeah, for the Caps, 19-year-old Andre Burakovsky, 5 points in 5 games. He skates like the wind. He's got a tremendous shot, both a snapper and a wrister. For the Oilers, none other than Taylor Hall. He's 22 years old, already over 250 games. He was the first overall pick in 2010 and led him in points last season.
Andre Burakovsky points in 4 of his first 5 outings in the NHL, and he seems to have warmed to this big stage quite nicely in the first 2 weeks. Where does he go from here?
I think he can just keep going up. Remember, he's changing positions from wing to center. He's got such a great hockey IQ. He's not going to miss a beat. How about him playing on this ice tonight? He's going to be flying out there.
Oilers in the home blue, Caps in the road white. And underway are we on CSN. The referees tonight, Dave Jackson and Chris Lee. The linesmen are Brian Pansich and Andy McKelman. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is tied up by Nicholas Backstrom. Hall greeted by Brooks Orpik. Kept alive at point position, Nugent-Hopkins using the back dasher. Eberle hiding there. Backstrom will vacate the zone, send it out wide to Alex Ovechkin closing. Snapshot was rejected. Just getting going on this speed track known as Rexall Place. Niskanen steps in and fires. That's blocked in front. And away come the Oilers with Taylor Hall, a 22-year-old winger. Finagles into the zone. Carl Alsner wasn't buying any of those fakes.
Yeah, even at the end of the shift for Taylor Hall, still has a lot of moves. You got to be careful against that guy. We're going to see a lot of this 5-on-5 here tonight. These two lines battling each other. The top line from each hockey club.
Benoit Pouliot greeted there by Niskanen. Yakupov comes to point position. Petrie will play it in deep. Second minute of a scoreless first period. Joe and Craig upstairs. Edmonton native Alan May is inside the glass, if you will, rinkside tonight. Johansson golfs it to the corner. Andrew Ferentz is there, the captain for these Edmonton Oilers. Mike Green on a well-timed pinch in. There's Jay Beagle making his season debut off the injured list. 83 in the lineup, 21 out. Brooks Laich missing time and missing the entirety of this trip.
And they hope he's going to be ready when the Capitals return next week to play Wednesday night at Verizon again.
As the puck leaves the playing surface, 1 minute, 59 seconds into the contest.
You know, Craig, you talk about Brooks Laich being absent. One of the areas of the game that the Caps are really going to miss him is on the penalty kill. He's done such a great job this year as one of the 3 pairings that they have up front, getting in the way, blocking shots, committing on the boards, and getting the puck down to the far end. He'll be sorely missed in that area, but the good news is Jay Beagle's back in the lineup, an excellent penalty killer himself.
Alan Barry Trotz is giving us the impression that Brooks' injury is more of the 7 to 10 day variety than what was originally feared. Let's hope that that's true. Schmidt keeping an eye on the youngster, 18-year-old Leon Draisaitl, who will turn 19 in 5 days. Perron fires, it's blocked by Schmidt. Justin Schultz creeping in from point position. Joel Ward was in good shape there defensively for Washington. Eric Fair strolling back through center. Play it along the dasher board and on through Draisaitl. Dallas Aikens wants the line change for the Oilers as Schmidt guns one in from center.
And Dallas Aikens actually pretty pleased with his hockey team, and they think that they found the formula the other night against Tampa Bay in their first win of the season. He wants them to play the exact same way here tonight. We see the speed right off the get-go. So far, it's been a pretty good matchup between the Caps and Edmonton.
2 former Capitals out there now on this line. Jesse Joensuu joined by Matt Hendricks and Boyd Gordon. Names that Caps fans will find very familiar. Yevgeny Kuznetsov failed to clear. Michael Latta is in the lineup tonight. Chris Brown a healthy scratch. As this is offside against Edmonton.
Well, on this ice sheet, it's going to favor the skaters like a Jason Chimera. early on. Good hit down low by Jason Chimera, first in the forecheck, then another one with the defensive partner for the Oilers there. Some good contacts right off the get-go. You're playing in front of families and friends. You're going to skate that much quicker, and that's Jason Chimera here tonight.
Tonight is NHL game number 798 for the veteran winger. His first, of course, played with the Edmonton Oilers way back in December of 2000. John Carlson ready to roam for Washington. Pitched it along the boards. Troy Brouwer with a puck. And a face full of Martin Marincin. Marincin, a 22-year-old Slovak on the back end for the Oilers. A team that has surrendered an awful lot of goals in the season's first 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're a little too porous, but I think, Joe, they've sort of got it together the last couple of games. And a lot of teams go through that early on in the season. I mean, this is a team, though, that they know they can't get behind the 8 ball. Their division is too tough, and they don't want to miss the playoffs for the 9th straight season.
Backstrom rolls through center. Cuts to the middle. On the delay, Nicholas fires off the outside of the pipe there. Scrivens was looking for a sight line.
And that play was all made because of Beagle, who got caught out on that line, and he went straight to the net, which opened up the lateral area in the seam for Backstrom to meander and make that shot right off the pipe.
Mike Green on the outlet. The Caps looking so much sharper on breakouts this fall.
Yeah, they're keeping it off the boards, Joe. It's a nightmare when you keep rimming the puck.
Green fires. Scrivens makes the save. That's the rebound to the helping hockey stick of Teddy Purcell.
The one thing they're utilizing more in their defensive zone, just to get back to that topic, is they're utilizing the center position more. So instead of throwing it around the wall or hitting a winger with a pinging defenseman, the centers are coming back. They're finding the right area of the ice to be in, so the defenseman can lay a 10 or 15-foot pass. That's why they've been cleaner coming out of their zone, the use of the centerman.
At the attacking line, it is offside against Edmonton. Let's see if the time change messes him up. Here's Craig's voice on value, presented by Morgan Franklin Consulting.
Well, for Trotz, it's about watching their top line. They're top heavy. When you talk about Hall, Nugent Hopkins, and Eberle, they really provide a lot of vote for this team. Coming into this game, 5 of their 14 goals put together by that top trio, and they're going to have good line change to shut them down here tonight.
Guys, I was talking to Oilers general manager Craig McTavish today, and he wanted to see how Boyd Gordon, Matt Henderson, Jesse Joensuu played, how similar they could play to the Eric Fairline with Jason Wharton, Chimera, and he said that is really a matchup he wants to see, and he really thinks that line needs to emulate what the Caps do with their big three.
It's interesting to watch how the chess match will unfold. Braden Holtby made a good save there a few moments ago on Jesse Joensuu. There's Hendricks to the front. Deflection, try Gordon, and Holtby made the stop on him. Boyd Gordon on the cycle for Matt Hendricks. Good friend Carl Alsner draped over top. Niskanen will reverse for Washington.
And the reason these lines play so well, they know their limitations. And because of that, they simplify the game of hockey. It's really not that difficult. They simplify it, they do the dirty work, they get it in, they bang, they support, and they crash the net. It's a formula that those type of lines live and die by.
This will roll to the doorstep, be covered up by Braden Holtby. 6 minutes and 21 seconds gone by. A scoreless first period. Way out west in Edmonton with the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Jumped off the plane, went right to practice at Leduc.
Yeah, about 30 miles outside of Edmonton. Barry Trotz has done this before with his Nashville Predators team. The guys enjoyed it. It's a neat little local rink. Thumbs up, yes indeed. Young and old enjoyed the Capitals practice. They practiced for about 50 minutes, and then everybody got in line to sign autographs. There you see Peters at the end of the line getting ready to get on the bus. A great day had by all. Great job by Barry Trotz. It's another part of team building and being charitable that's important to put this team in place and together.
A very neat atmosphere, well attended as Ward fires one wide of Ben Scrivens. Amazing complex there too, by the way, right? There were 3 different ice rinks, a box lacrosse field, an aquatic center, a curling rink.
And we didn't go to the best spot, Dairy Queen.
Oh, we missed that?
Yeah, we did.
Figures. Purcell to the front. Score! At point-blank range, the dangerous Justin Schultz.
Justin Schultz last year led this team in every category as a defenseman, goals, assists, points. This is why. He's a guy that sneaks in. He's hard to defend. He found the lane and he buried it. That's a goal scorer's goal, and he's a defenseman. It's a good all-around play by their so-called second line. Purcell always seems to do damage against the Caps, and it was Purcell that laid out a beautiful pass to Justin Schultz. 1-0 Oilers.
29-year-old Newfoundlander Teddy Purcell in his first season with Edmonton. A beautiful setup for Justin Schultz at 6:53. David Perron also gets the assist as well.
You know, Purcell's one of those guys that the Edmonton Oilers recognized they needed to have more size on the wing, and he is a Caps killer. 8 goals and 13 assists now in 23 games against the Caps. Plays well on the wall, and he's got a very underrated wrist shot, and I expect him to do damage for this team this season.
At 6:53.
Taylor Hall feathers this one ahead out of the reach of Jordan Eberle. Caps fall behind before the game is 7 minutes old. An Edmonton team that has surrendered the most goals in the NHL in the month of October has a lead to protect now.
You got to stick with your game plan because of that. The way they give up goals, you can't deviate. You're going to get your chances, and guys like Liam O'Brien and company are going to have to be a factor in this hockey game. You will get your chances. You're going to have to bury them against Scrivens.
The Oilers in the midst of a 7-game homestand. It'll continue on Friday. They play host to Carolina. Montreal, Nashville, Vancouver still to visit before this stretch is complete.
And then they head on the road for 5 straight. So they're getting used to home cooking here and know that these points are critical if they're going to stay in the hunt in their division.
Nikki Nikitin ahead. Benoit Pouliot will dump it in. Schmidt waiting, absorbs the hit there from Mark Arcobello, and away come the Caps, even in full strength. Latta through center, then Kuznetsov. Evgeny Kuznetsov on a timing play, just missing for Liam O'Brien. Nikitin on the reverse. Arcobello, the former All-American out of Yale University.
Not the biggest guy, can fly out there, and they really like him because he's really chipped in also on the power play. He's a multi-dimensional player, and his size is not going to factor.
Along the dasher, no running room for Boyd Gordon. Johansson close by. They jam for the puck along the wall. Kept alive by Andrew Ferentz to the gloved hand of Braden Holtby. 1-0 Edmonton if you're just tuning in. NHL on Comcast Sportsnet, a little bit past the top of the hour. Justin Schultz on the board for the guys in blue. Burakovsky looking to respond. Andrew Ferentz reversing his field. Beagle there at the top of the forecheck. Jay Beagle inserted into the lineup in Brooks Lake's place. Ovechkin was dumped. Power play here for Washington as Holtby sprints to the bench. The Caps go a man to the good.
That was an easy call right there. It looks like from against former Cap Matt Hendricks as he trips up Alex Ovechkin. Here's the cycle down low, and notice Ovechkin gets a step. There's the easy penalty call, and the Caps will have an early power play as Hendricks goes to the box. The Caps looking to tie it with their first power play.
Washington was 0 for 2 in its recent win over Florida. Matt Hendricks cools his heels in the penalty box, 2 for tripping. Washington on the season now 25%, ranked among the top 10. The Oiler penalty kill hovering around 76%. Brouwer, top 3 in the NHL in terms of face-off winning percentage. Troy Brouwer has done well at the dot. Didn't get control there. The Caps will have to regroup.
Anytime you're over 60 and he's at 64.5, you're doing well. A lot of Brouwer's face-off wins are because of his strength at the dot.
Johansson zooms in, plays to Backstrom on top for Karlsson. Nicholas Backstrom settles. Johansson waits around a sprawling defender. And the Oilers will send it all the way. Nikki Nikitin doing the honors.
And it's all about the slide and the timing of the slide by defensemen. Utilizes the strategy for the last several seasons. When he slides, there's no place for that puck to go cross seam. That's why he took that away from Nicky, and there was no 2-on-1 down low.
Ovechkin one hands for Johansson. Play it straight away to John Karlsson. Backstrom on the verge of 500 points. Inside Brouwer. Great save, Scrivens. He made 2 of them. Carlson settles. Ovechkin off of his shooting angle. Backstrom working it quickly. Johansson, Backstrom, tape to tape. Carlson scores! John Carlson with a rocket.
That was a thing of beauty by the Capitals on the power play. Just kept the puck alive, kept executing. You could hear the snap passes all the way up here. But it's all about puck placement and moving the puck around the penalty killers. Here it is. Good spacing, opportunity. He doesn't go for the stop. Mojo gives it to Backy to Carlson, and he just rips it past the blocker side of Scrivens. Notice Scrivens down there covering everything low. When he gets up, now he can't close that 7-hole, and that's where John Carlson rips her home on the power play.
You know, it's just not fair the way the power play moves this puck around. There's so many different reads and options, and teams over-prepare for certain situations. They're so worried about the slot that John Carlson's wide open. He knows he's got to shoot the puck into the upper half of the net, but there's so many different reads, and every player on the team now has multiple reads. It's not just Backstrom that's doing it. It's Marcus Johansson, Alexander Ovechkin. There's so many different plays on this power play. I can't believe more teams in the National Hockey League aren't trying to cheat off of it.
Congratulations to Nicholas Backstrom, a perfect example of how he has hit the 500-point mark so quickly. Putting the pass right on the platter for John Carlson. Carlson's first ever goal against Edmonton in just 5 outings. Among NHL defenders last year, he was in the top 4 when it came to shots on net. He blew one past Ben Scrivens. We're level at 1. Chimera, the Edmonton native, on the drop. Fair fires. Scrivens makes that save and just taps the rebound away. Fair with a good steal. Slots one for Chimera. That's deflected aside. Counter-punching David Perron. He'll dump it in. Dallas Eakins wants the line change, as Niskanen will swing. Alsner gaining ground through center. Plays it to the backboards. Marincin turns. Forced back by Burakovsky. Beagle is there, looking for the teenager. It flew right on by.
And Marincin and Bain, arguably their shutdown duel. They would love, Eakins would love to have them out against the Ovechkin line and Backstrom all night long. They've really fared well playing together and got to get a lot of heavy minutes for this Oiler team.
Coach Eakins was giving them the thumbs up earlier today. Very impressed with their recent play. Yakupov spins back. I asked him this morning, Nail Yakupov? He goes, that's awfully close. But since you can't say it perfectly, just say Nail Yakupov. I'm like, no, I like Nail Yakupov. He's asking us to say it the wrong way. All right, that's fine. More than fine. Go ahead. Brouwer with a takeaway. Troy Brouwer looking back towards point position to an open Carlson. Looking for the tip-in try. Ooh, Ovechkin was lurking there. We drift below 8 minutes to play. Opening period, 1-1 score. Carlson for the Caps. Schultz for the Oilers as the defenders get themselves on the board. Hall accelerates into the offensive zone, tracked by 3 Capital defenders. Kuznetsov, 2-on-2 with Liam O'Brien. Off the head fake, Kuznetsov fires. A good save there for Scrivens at the top of the paint.
That was a nice looking move by Kuznetsov. I loved his speed.
Latta's drive was blocked off of Marincin, and then Scrivens goes to the split to stop Schmidt. Fane digging in, former Providence College Friar. Kuznetsov tried to bank it. It's in front. And finally, beneath the goalie glove of Ben Scrivens. Back-to-back strong shifts for Washington. They've rallied to tie. Nicholas Backstrom, number 19, has point number 500 in the NHL. At almost 17,000 inside of Rexall Place for NHL action. It's 1-1 Caps and Oilers. Alan May has seen more than a few games in this barn. He's inside the glass with us tonight.
Yeah, guys, I scored my very first goal in that net right in front of me, and 7 rows up to my right. I used to sit as a kid with my own season tickets that I was lucky enough that my dad bought them for me the day they got Wayne Gretzky here in the WHA. But the fastest ice in the league, you've got to find a way to stay in these games in the first 10, 15 minutes because the ice is so hard to get used to, and the Oilers wind it up. And if you can stay in the game, you have a good chance of winning it every time. And that's one thing the Capitals haven't done in the last 10. They're just 2-8.
There's a delayed penalty call coming here.
Here they go.
and the gloves are down. Hendricks and O'Brien nose to nose.
The battle of the unsung heroes. You got to love that tilt right there. Two great guys. You know, Matt Hendricks is the kind of guy that O'Brien wants to become in his career, a journeyman that'll do whatever it takes to win. And kudos to the kid for getting involved there. And what do you expect from Matt Hendricks? Nothing but that.
Junkyard dogs right there. Hendricks is the guy here in Edmonton. The Caps have Liam O'Brien. All started with a hit in the neutral zone right there on Michael Latta. And across comes O'Brien and drills Hendricks. And he drops the gloves immediately. We'll see if there was an extra penalty doled out. It may come against O'Brien for that initial hit that started that fracas.
That 20-year-old Liam O'Brien is raw bone strong. When he hits you, you stay hit. O'Brien fought Brandon Prust of Montreal in the season opener at Verizon Center. There he danced with the former Cap, Matt Hendricks, and he's checking out that right hand.
Yep, and he's checking out the double minor that he's going to get, or 5 and 2, and then Hendricks will get the 5. That's why the Caps are on the PK.
Nugent Hopkins to take the draw against Jay Beagle. Edmonton controls.
2 minutes for interference.
2 for interference, 5 for fighting. Drive from Schultz is snared by Holtby.
That's a good stop right there for Braden, right into the belly there. They move it around pretty well. Schultz is on the board already. Coming into this power play, the Caps have outshot the Oilers 8-5 and outchanced them by a couple, but we're knotted up at 1 because of that Schultz goal. He really makes the power play hum from the point.
It's something different you see in this power play right now is Benoit Pouliot, who we saw play for the Rangers last year, and he's a guy that always gets in front of the net, does a good job of battling on the boards. And the Oilers, if they want to take advantage of him, they've got to make sure they do that quick pass and the quick shot to the front of the net at all times.
Pouliot's a big guy, Allen. Goes about 6'4", 200. Rangy type. Everly darts into the offensive zone, sends it on around for Hall. Power play, Edmonton, another 127. Schultz, the former All-American out of Wisconsin. Nugent Hopkins, a former #1 overall for Hall to fire. Glove save, Holtby.
Holtby wasn't leaving that pipe. Hall thought he might have him leaning a little bit, but not so quick, number 4. Braden Holtby's glove comes out and snares that as he tried to go short side. Hall is very creative. Already has 4 goals in the season. Watch him turn around. Uses Orpik a little bit as a screen. Last year, he's a guy that puts up big numbers, and he can really bring it.
Better watch 57 this shift. David Perron led the team in power play goals a season ago. Yakupov for Draisaitl. Purcell on the outside. Perron works the point position. Settling it. Skip a man, Purcell. Then Perron. They play the 2-man game. 55 seconds in the man advantage. The slot pass blocked by Alsner. Nikitin sets it to the quick side, just sent wide. Purcell. They flood this side. Perron right through the goal mouth. Yakupov couldn't get there.
And either that or he was trying to go off the inside of the pads of Holtby on that play.
Purcell being encouraged to shoot it. Holtby makes the save on Draisaitl. Nikitin kept it in. Changed the point of attack for Purcell. Drags it away from Joel Ward. Nikitin's drive way off the target. 20 seconds left in the minor penalty to Liam O'Brien, being served by Andre Burakovsky.
Real good zone time for the Edmonton Oilers, but the Capitals come into this game with an excellent penalty-killing unit, operating at about 90%. That'll do it. It's going to definitely go down by the end of the season, but having those type of numbers early on really helps out your chances of winning games.
And the difference between this year and last year so far is the amount of structure on that penalty kill. You saw how they kept the Oilers to the perimeter pretty much the entire time. Excellent positioning, good patience, and they were all strong in the puck when they needed to be.
Oilers had 3 shots on that man advantage. Holtby gets them all. Washington out shooting Edmonton 8-7. Scoreboard reads even at 1 apiece. As we're back to full and even strength. Jesse Joensuu working down the dasher. Nugent Hopkins. Tracked down by Purcell. Long drive, Ferentz. Stopped there in front.
Capitals lucky there, Joe. Just about got caught on that late line change.
Quick passing to the interior. Just caroms wide. There's a penalty call coming up with a Cap down. The whistle comes. Washington on the man advantage after Mike Green was fouled in front. Get you back for that extra man opportunity right after these words. Two teams trading tallies in the first 11 minutes, 1-1 in Edmonton. The assist leaders are presented by your local Hyundai dealers. Let them assist you in scoring the lowest prices on the hottest lineup in America. Past Oiler greats dominate this list.
And right at the top is the retired jersey, number 99 Hall of Famer Gretzky, 714 more than second place finisher Francis Messier, Bourque, Coffee, Oates, Gretzky, Messier, Coffee. So much a big part of the fabric of Edmonton, Alberta, and the many Stanley Cups they won together.
Washington Capitals set to go on a late first period power play. Jesse Joensuu in the penalty box for Edmonton. Caps won both meetings with the Oilers a season ago. Joensuu in the box for high sticking. Caps have won 2 of their last 3 here. Bouncing towards the cage, Scrivens didn't find it cleanly as the Oilers look to get it out. Backstrom tied up along the boards with Nugent Hopkins, and Fane, the former Devil, will clear it all the way back.
Yeah, Fane got a nice big contract in the summer. They wanted to get some better defense in here, younger guys, so they inked him for a lot of bucks.
Johansson closing in. Marcus Johansson on the delay. Looking for Alex Ovechkin. It's steered away from him as he will outlast Arcobello to play wide for Carlson. 80 seconds in the man advantage for Washington. Johansson plays it hard around. Backstrom clotheslined by Ferentz. Carlson, who has the Washington goal. Backstrom at the half board. Johansson. Pressure comes from Ferentz. Backstrom to Brouwer. Looking to the backside. It gets away from Ovechkin. It'll force Washington to regroup.
Not only is the ice fast here, but the walls are very fast. That lower dasher, did you see how fast that puck came off? And it was only like 5 feet away from Alex Ovechkin.
Alan, you were talking about the boards earlier today. Some things never change.
No, and one of the things about these boards, they are fast, but they do have a lot of odd caroms to them. There are some areas that are very energetic on that bounce back, and you really are stuck guessing where that puck's going to go. But everything's fast about this arena, and really one of the things I noticed on the penalty kill to jump around is the Oilers are attacking down low in that Marcus Johansson position, not letting him get the puck to where he wants to now. And you know that Blaine Forsythe is going to make sure that the Caps have a plan for that and start to send that puck somewhere else.
All about advanced scouting. Kuznetsov, interior Ward guns it wide. Green chasing it down. 29 seconds in the Washington power play. Burakovsky with Marincin down on the deck. Niskanen at point position. For Joel Ward, deflected away from him by Fane. Green steers it below the goal line. Marincin keeping an eye on Kuznetsov. Keeps it hot for Burakovsky. 8 seconds in the power play. Backside open, pad save Scrivens. He robbed Green. Niskanen keeps the Caps in the attack territory. Oilers back to even strength. Green working it on the lip of the boards. 5-on-5 play. Nice setup there for the second wave of the man advantage. Joensuu streaks down the dasher, steps to the middle and drives. Holtby makes the save, and he'll hang on.
Great chance at both ends of the ice, starting with Mike Green. The Capitals are doing a good job keeping power plays alive. The one strategy we see here is their defense always go down. They're like laying down, preventing those passes. This one gets through, and you can see the problem that goaltender Scrivens has. Great save. Joensuu comes down for a big guy coming out of the box, Joe. Pretty good speed to the middle and got the center lane against the tired Capitals defense.
Braden Holtby among active netminders, among the top 4 when it comes to career save percentage. Nikitin off of the shin pads of Jay Beagle. 1:23 left in this opening period, separating us from Lattice's intermission live. Arcobello to the slot. Holtby got over, denying Schultz his second of the frame.
Is he playing forward or defense tonight?
Well, he is the definition of a rover.
Yeah.
This is icing against Washington.
That's his third good opportunity. He's already struck once. The Capitals need heads on a swivel when you've got Schultz on the ice. He's a guy that's going to dart around and make sure that you have that guy picked up going to the net.
Jason Chimera, who tallied against Florida recently. Lining up here to take the draw, opposite of Leon Draisaitl, and you played with his daddy, I understand.
Peter Draisaitl. I played against him actually, Joe, but I knew him for many years. Played a lot over in Germany, and he played for a couple of Olympic teams for them also. Very good player. A lot of his time spent in Cologne. He's now a coach in the Czech Elite League.
His son Leon, a super high draft pick for Edmonton. Number 3 overall in the 2014 entry draft.
Yeah, the highest ever German pick that high, Joe. And there's had great players out of Germany. You look to Ole Kolzig, who's one of the top guys out of that country. Marco Sturm, who also played for the Caps. Seidenberg, Ehrhoff, Johan Hecht, all great players.
Draisaitl awaits his next chance.
They may send him back, though, Joe.
The 9-game, 10-game
nine
thing.
games. He can still go back to junior unless they're rolling a little bit. He's playing all right, and obviously he told me this morning it was a big change for him playing juniors to pros. And the biggest thing he said is the decision making, and that's going to make the difference if he stays or not.
Draisaitl, a WHL All-Star with the Prince Albert Raiders. Joensuu, 7 years for that Finn now in North American play. Brouwer with 40 seconds on the clock. This is deflected about 5 rows in the spectator seats as you see Edmonton now with a shots on goal advantage.
Yeah, Alex Ovechkin and the boys getting plenty of chances against Scriven. Scriven's probably the tougher of the saves here in this first period. For Aikens, this could be the last couple of years here in this building. They're building a brand new hockey arena in downtown Edmonton, so this has a couple of years left for play in the NHL, and they'll be moving in to a brand new spanking arena downtown Edmonton.
Nugent Hopkins clears cross rink. Final 28 ticks in period 1. Alex Ovechkin right to the gloved hand of Ben Scrivens. Two teams are 5-on-5. Both sides have had opportunities on the man advantage. Washington clicking for a power play goal thanks to John Carlson. Holtby sweeps it around the boards. Picked up in flight by Nicklas Backstrom. On its bumpy way for Ovechkin, it didn't find his tape. Brouwer joins the fray as his first period comes to its conclusion right now with Scrivens making a late stop on Alzner.
Awesome play by Nick Backstrom. Did he ever have soap on a rope there? The puck was hanging on his stick the whole time and creates a last-second chance for the guys in white.
So the defensemen have the run of the scoreboard. It's 1-1 after 20 minutes of play inside of Rexall Place. They've won 4 of their last 5 straight up against Edmonton, but the city of Edmonton and Rexall Place, not always kind. We are 1-1 after 20 minutes tonight. And before we start period number 2, Craig, 40th anniversary season for the Capitals. A trip down memory lane with Kelly Miller.
Yeah, Kelly Miller, a big backbone type of player. I called him always when I played with him, Killer Miller. He just had a knack around the net. He'd score big goals, shorthanded goals. Always had what I called gumption. He always played with a high level of energy, and that really fed the rest of the team. You know, he was looked at as more of a defensive player, but he scored some huge goals and spent many seasons as a Cap.
In today's parlance, it would be a very high compete level, right? Well,
yeah, exactly.
Number 10 sure had that.
13 seasons, 86-99, franchise ranked, 3rd in games played, plus 75, 15 shorties, 47 playoff points. He came in that big deal when Bobby Carpenter was moved in a pick. We got Ridley, Miller, and Bobby Crawford from the Rangers.
Caps set for the start of period 2. We ask you this evening on Twitter, #Capitals Talk, which NHL player from the past do you wish you could have seen play in person? Which great from the past do you wish you could have seen play in person? #Capitals Talk. I'm sure there will be a few Edmonton Oilers in that discussion.
And I saw them all, Joby. It was a pretty incredible childhood that I had.
Up close and personal with us tonight on the road. Alan May making the trek to Edmonton, and then we'll travel overnight south of here about 185 miles, Calgary and Vancouver Saturday and Sunday before this road trip is complete.
Team building for OB and the boys tomorrow in Calgary. They'll have some curling. Get out on the curling and throw some rocks. Are you going to broom tomorrow?
I'm going to be the sweeper, yes.
Are you sweeping?
The honorary sweeper. John Carlson out there for Washington. We begin second period play. 5-on-5. Marincin at a point position. To the corner, Taylor Hall up the stutter step, right to the goal mouth, poke checked by Braden Holtby, and then Troy Brouwer will steer Edmonton back onto its half of center ice.
An area the Caps have to take advantage of on the Oilers this period is the Oilers are retreating back in their own end. When the puck is on the boards, they're continuing to keep it on the boards, and the forecheckers from the Caps have to go after it and create some turnovers and some quick plays to the front of the net.
Allen and Locker, we've been discussing the ice as Ferentz takes ice away from Marcus Johansson. As this game progresses, when you have time, tell me, with the ice this good, do players tend to stay fresher longer? Do you get tired out as quickly?
I was always dead tired playing here.
Really?
Yeah, because you're trying to keep up with the other guys. If you're a great skater, you love it.
I'll give you that, Locker, but it also had to do with about 6 or 7 Molson Canadians, a whole bunch of chicken wings that you always eat. But, you know, it is a faster-paced game. I do think players get tired, but the good thing about this ice is that the skill level late in the game, the puck is still moving flat, it's moving quick, and the better players, your skilled players, should excel.
Carl Alsner in possession of the puck finds an open Jason Chimera, who loves this ice cheat. Former Edmonton Oiler in his own right. Jason, of course, coming to the Caps via the trade from Columbus. Ward to the outside. Alsner fires. That's blocked in front. Carl Alsner again, shrugged away by Scrivens. Batted to the dasher board, picked up by Yakupov.
That's exactly what I was talking about with the Caps. So they got quick on the boards when the Oilers had the puck, and they created some great scoring chances. Another thing we're seeing out of the Caps this season is the defensemen holding the offensive blue line. Carl Alsner there last year would have backed off a few times, and it would have ended up in a couple of odd man situations against the Capitals. Now he's creating scoring situations, as all the Capitals defensemen, by holding the blue.
And you can only hold the blue if you've got support and trust, and that's what the team's building under Barry Trotz.
Barry says they extend plays, they kill plays in that regard. Joensuu's drive flagged down by Braden Holtby. Folks, the 2015 Bridgestone NHL Winter Classic. It'll be played on January 1, 2015 at Nationals Park. For more information on how to guarantee access to tickets, call 202-266-CAPS or visit WashingtonCaps.com. Capitals faithful working the phones inside of Rexall Place. 1-1 if you are just tuning in with us. Justin Schultz and John Carlson have struck. Alex Ovechkin in his brilliant career, he hasn't seen Edmonton all that often, but in 8 games, he has 7 goals. The Great 8 closing in on Peter Bondra for the all-time point-scoring lead for these Caps.
Lots of ice time for Alex in the first period, over 7 minutes, along with Backey, the ice time leader, which we think, or thought it could be Niskanen, and he's sort of been the leader every game. It was Carlson. He played over 8 minutes, close to 8.5 for the Caps.
Niskanen in the young season averaging better than 24 minutes per contest. Oilers gaining through neutral. Hall finds Eberle on the drag to Nugent-Hopkins with Backstrom right there in tow. Ovechkin takes it off the wall. Alex Ovechkin breezing through center, tracked down by 2 defenders. Ferentz steps up. Backstrom takes it on the curl to the slot. Nobody home, save for Teddy Purcell. Purcell stretching his legs through center. Now dealing with his opposite, number 16, Eric Fair. Schmidt on a reverse for Green. Joel Ward, wing to wing for Fair. Petrie was right there for Edmonton. Chimera collides with Ferentz. Joel Ward throws it back into the cycle. And David Perron will take it. Perron and Eberle tied for the goal-scoring lead for Edmonton a season ago. Neither of them have struck so far this fall. Caps fans would like that to continue. Draisaitl to Purcell. Good read there by Joel Ward. In that lock posture, he makes a defensive play. Tonight's Cold Hard Fact is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Playoffs have been tough for this franchise recently. You know, they've won all those cups, but they missed the playoffs for 8 straight seasons, the longest current playoff drought in the National Hockey League. Their last appearance was in '06 when Carolina upended them in the Stanley Cup finals. It's going to be tough. I mentioned their division that they're in, Joe. They've got to go through a lot of good teams to get there when you're thinking teams like Los Angeles, San Jose, go down the list. Anaheim, that they got to jump over if they're going to get in.
The outset of business, you're looking at Anaheim and Montreal with terrific starts. Pacific Division, in which Edmonton resides, is loaded.
And I'm not sure patience, you can have that much patience for so long. This is a team with so many top picks. They need to get to the playoffs.
Liam O'Brien off the counterattack, stopped there by Yakupov. Alsner brushes it in as the Caps tag up. They would have been offside. Pouliot on the stretch, just out of the reach of Joensuu. And this should be and is icing against Edmonton. Washington has one on the board thanks to John Carlson, who came back in the first.
And it was a thing of beauty on the power play for the Capitals, moving it along. You see, nice play by Mojo. Backstrom, here comes Carlson. And he blows it past the goaltender. They had the movement on the penalty kill. They execute that pass like none other as Nick Backstrom. Not only Carlson's first, but Backstrom's 500 career point.
Marcus Johansson chipping in with an assist on that power play tally too. Justin Schultz struck first for Edmonton and has been dangerous just about every shift. Green closing, fires and scores! Mike Green.
He was firing that all morning into the top shelf late in practice. That's one of his marquee shots. He collects and he fires in one motion. The old-fashioned wrister under the bar. We've seen this so many years of Nick Backstrom and guys getting him the puck. Just the way he unloads it. Look at how he unloads it there. The guy that's blocking it, Joensuu, gets in the way of the goaltender, Joe, and he blows it right over the catching glove. That is his favorite shot to take and the favorite place to put it in the net. He's got his third.
And when he's doing things at the top of his game locker, there's no hesitation in his pass, there's no hesitation in his shot, and he has the confidence to get into the top of those circles. And that goes back to what all the Capitals are doing. They're getting into the top of the circles, keeping pucks in play, and that one certainly paid off by going top shelf.
A razor-sharp shot from Mike Green. He has 3 goals this season, all of them in the second period of games.
Number 65, Andre
Burakovsky gets an assist. Ovechkin fans on it. Now he has to get back in a hurry. Nugent Hopkins on an odd man rush with Eberle. Fires and scores! Ryan Nugent Hopkins.
Unlucky for Alex Ovechkin, who misfires it. Off to the races they go. Ryan Nugent Hopkins just 20 seconds after Greeny had given the Caps a lead. They respond with the number 1 trio, and he just rips it far side past the goaltender Braden Holtby. All starts with a misplay, and there's Alex at the end of that goal. He knew his turnover led directly to Ryan Nugent Hopkins. He's got his 2nd goal of the season. That baby will be unassisted.
Nugent Hopkins had the game winner against Tampa Bay back on Monday. It came with just 3:25 to go in regulation time. 2-2 hockey game inside of Rexall Place. Offside against Washington here on the dump in. Ryan Nugent Hopkins, 21 years of age, number 1 overall in the summer of 2011. Gets his first ever against Washington, just the 4th time he has faced the Caps. Goes down as an unassisted marker at 5'10". As Perron will dump it in, Niskanen will turn. Matt Niskanen gliding out of his own zone for Joel Ward. Chip and chase to Chimera. Arm in arm with Schultz, they go to the dasher. Purcell doesn't clear. Fair fires wide of the blocker of Ben Scrivens, a 28-year-old BC native in the nets. Oilers with momentum through center. It's Draisaitl. Hooks one to the front. Good back check by Joel Ward. Eric Fair in possession of the puck. On the toe drag through center, he wants to dump it in and get Barry Trotz a line change. Fresh folks out there for the Caps. Hall fidgets right to a waiting Mike Latta. Eberle keeps it going for Nugent Hopkins. Liam O'Brien, who dropped the gloves with former Cap Matt Hendricks, on for Michael Latta. Latta busting wide. Pinned to the boards. 4 players in the quarrel there. As it squirts loose, it's Jeff Petrie, the Michigan native. Didn't get it out. Latta looking after Hall, who will swing. Very gifted skater. Taylor Hall can really fly. Green, who tallied for Washington here in period 2, on a long stretch intended for Kuznetsov. He was in early. It's offside against Washington. 2 tallies, 20 seconds apart. We were 1-1 after 1. Caps took the lead thanks to Mike Green. Ryan Nugent Hopkins, lickety split, right back onto the scoreboard.
Hockey player, a lot of your confidence comes from trust, and trust in yourself, knowing the system and what you're doing, trusting your teammates and everything. And I think you can see through our whole group right now is we have a ton of trust in each other, and that turns into confidence individually and team-wise.
Braden Holtby with our Legal Seafoods Bite of the Night. Holtby, who has 1 shutout this season, and came in Boston, the Caps' only other road game to date. His first NHL shutout locker was against Edmonton.
You're thinking, you're reading my mind again.
Burakovsky on the drop. There'll be no shutout tonight either way. It's 2-2 with the NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Nugent Hopkins looking for Hall right to the doorstep, and Holtby will take no chances.
Aiken just about double shifting the top line with Hall, Ryan Nugent Hopkins, and Eberle to continue their thrust. That quick goal 20 seconds after the Caps had got the lead has slowed down the game a little bit. You take a look at Braden's totals in his career: 62 wins, points in 71 of those 109 games to date.
Former Cap Boyd Gordon set to take the draw. He won 5 of 6 locker in the first period. Wins that one cleanly too. Marincin, switch it up, feign. Uh-oh, that was dangerous. It's picked off by Brouwer, and he's in. Troy Brouwer to his backhand, pad save by Scrivens. Delayed offside against Washington, waved off as we near the 8-minute mark of the second period. 2 teams trading goals in the first and here in the second. Ovechkin, elbow to elbow there with Gordon. Boyd Gordon comes away with a puck. Stacked up at the line, though, by John Carlson. Orpik's relay finds Brouwer. On the overlap, there's Backstrom. Lost the handle. Marincin taking care of him. Hard pass for Alder. Pumped it wide. Rebound was there for Brouwer. Swing and a miss. Lively boards again here at Rexall Place. Capitals working without Brooks Laich, Tom Wilson, Dmitry Orlov, Aaron Volpatti, and John Erskine on the injured list. Wilson reassigned to the American Hockey League. He is expected to play with the Hershey Bears Friday and Sunday this weekend.
Get him some game action so he could be ready for Wednesday against the Wings when the Capitals return home.
Washington once again, this time whistled at the attacking line.
Guys, one of the things I'm really impressed with this season, and it's a subtle change in the Caps game, is last year they talked about sticks and lanes, but now they're going stick to puck, and they're really pressuring the puck carriers. We've seen a lot of turnovers created by them tonight, scoring opportunities because of the same created turnover. They're doing an excellent job of getting to the puck, and it's not just the forwards. The defensemen are getting up in the play and doing the exact same thing.
That aggressive nature serving Washington well, Allen. They come into tonight's action 3-0-2. Edmonton at 1-4-1, ending a 5-game winless stretch to open the campaign when they downed an impressive Tampa Bay squad. That's a quality win for Aikens and his troops.
And Tampa Bay came back and had an impressive win last night against Calgary, who the Capitals next face Saturday night. Calgary looked like they had the game in hand. 2 late goals, including 1 in overtime. I think it shocked everybody in Calgary.
Yakupov works through center. Nice moves. He's in. Off the head fake. Hooks one to the slot. Schmidt was on patrol. Nikitin will swing back. He too said this morning, I don't want Nikitin. I want Nicky. You got it, big boy. Burakovsky fires. Pad save Scrivens. Nikitin chased by Burakovsky, who set up the Mike Green goal here in period 2. Draisaitl on the hop. 18-year-old working to the outside down the flank, and Alsner collects him in the corner. Just about halfway home in regulation time of a 2-2 game. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. The Caps are way out west in the province of Alberta. Burakovsky lined up by Purcell. 2-2 if you're just tuning in. Washington with 2 goals from the D. The D stays hot. Carlson and Green on the board. Schultz and Nugent-Hopkins have struck for Edmonton. Stay up to date on your favorite team, folks. Download the new CSN Washington app today. It features breaking news, instant analysis, scores, and now video. Get everything Capitals, Redskins, Wizards, DC United, and more right now on the new CSN Washington app. Orpik switching it up for John Carlson. On the baseboard to Ovechkin. Long drive, no worries for Scrivens. The rebound bouncing to the front. Backstrom pinned to the boards. Then knocked down by Petrie. Orpik walks the line. Carlson through the seam intended for Ovechkin. Orpik connecting the dots to Backstrom. Orpik again with a screen developing. Softly to Ovechkin. Ferentz is there to control him. Petrie absorbs the hit from Brouwer. Orpik watched it roll on by, and Ovechkin will cover at center.
Excellent shift by that Caps line, the top line, below the goal line, putting all types of pressure on the Oilers. And just playing a grinded out, great road game so far. Minus that Ovi mishap a little bit ago, that line has really been doing the gritty work that they need to do.
Offside Allen against Edmonton. We'll get you back to Rexall Place in just a few moments. The Caps captain and the Oil are tied up at 2. As the Caps are entertained for the one and only time this season by the Edmonton Oilers. More than a few Red Rockers hoping for Washington to continue its winning ways over the Oilers. They swept 2 from this team a season ago. Locked up in a 2-2 duel this evening. Capitals now in 6 games this season have only surrendered 2 second period goals. Whistle here in the stoppage in play.
And there they try that stretch pass with Ward, Fair, and company. Chimera getting a lot of ice time here from Coach Trotz here in this second period. A lot of line juggling going on, especially on the Oilers side against Barry Trotz's team. The Oilers now, their head coach, getting the top line out against the so-called Capitals grind and checking line. That could be a good matchup for the Caps right here.
A whole bunch of puppies on the ice for the Edmonton Oilers. They are the 3rd youngest team in the NHL. John Carlson ventures back, 24-year-old Massachusetts native. Sends it along the dasher, kept alive by Nugent-Hopkins. Rescued there by Chimera. Chimera, Ward, and Fair. Gang green, if you will. Out there now for head coach Barry Trotz, looking to tilt the ice in Washington's favor. Nikitin busting it at the attacking line. Fires, that's blocked by Brooks Orpik. Orpik, before the season's over, will be among the Caps' block shot leaders. Centering pass for Hall. He was tied up, a strong stick there from Orpik. Joel Ward, legs churning back through neutral. He'll roll it in. Capitals will make a line change on the go. Fane, deflected by Liam O'Brien. O'Brien, Latta, and Kuznetsov out there now. Schmidt and Green, the rear guard. Green's pass over Kuznetsov's blade. Icing's washed out. Referees tonight, Dave Jackson and Chris Lee, Brian Pansich and Andy McKelman have the lines with 7:20 to go in the second period. Marincin for Fane. Slovakian-born blue liner works through center with the help of Yakupov, who works in. Yakupov rolls this one to the front, and it's melted by Holtby. On the Toyota League leaderboard, Locker the highest scoring top picks. Number 1's overall, all time.
Number 66 at the top of the list, Mario Lemieux, Matt Sundin, McDonald, Guy Lafleur, not too far away. All guys over 500 include Howard, Tuck, Turgeon, and Perreault. There's Alex Ovechkin. So they're going to pass a lot of those guys for the most goals as #1 picks overall.
Alex now in his 10th season in the NHL, racking up goals at a remarkable clip. That's a great list, isn't it?
That's a real sweet list. Put that on a team. I wouldn't even want defensemen.
You might not need any.
I know.
Might not need a goalie. Niskanen sends it on around. 6:45 with which to work in the middle period. On the go, Niskanen only as far as Ferentz, who is there to straighten up Ovechkin. Joe Beninati, Craig Laughlin upstairs. Alan May is inside the glass for you tonight as we shout out thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew assembled here at Rexall Place in Edmonton. Washington's only visit to this barn. A long pass ahead, twisting Hendricks around. Edmonton comes to D.C. in the 3rd week of January in the new year. Beagle on for Backstrom. Carlson joining the rush. Fires off the outside of the post. And the rebound is out of play. That was in the netting. That was in the safety netting. There should have been a whistle, and there is.
Yeah, but the referee that was right down in the corner did not make the call because he was against the boards. And that allowed the play to continue. Face-off will stay inside. I like this new rule in the NHL, even though the Caps ripped it off the post and out. Good opportunity. Second pipe in the night for the Caps. Here comes Carlson looking for his second. Had the goaltender Scrivens beat cleanly. And the pipe to the rescue for the Oilers, number 30. Face-off to his left.
Ben Scrivens, the former All-American out of Cornell. John Carlson, the 2014 U.S. Olympian, testing him. Burakovsky back. Carlson with another drive, armed away by Scrivens.
Scrivens in his senior year, he was tremendous at Cornell, a save percentage above 90. He ended up winning the Ken Dryden Award. Isn't that pretty cool? He goes to Cornell, he wins Ken Dryden Award for the best goalie in that league.
A Beagle blast that goes wide. Jay looking forward to playing in front of friends and family in Calgary on Saturday. Carlson shoots one wide of the goal. Eberle on the reverse for Fane. The long clear ahead. Fane gets it back, chops it along for Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins with a tally here in the 2nd period, marked carefully by Orpik. Even in full strength 5-on-5, just a bit more than 5 minutes to go in the 2nd. Eberle on a takeaway. Ran into the referee. That served Washington well. Johansson gallops the other direction. Marcus Johansson with an assist tonight, plays it into the corner. Nikitin chopped that by Ward. Taylor Hall trapped there. Penalty coming against Jason Chimera, and it was right in front of Alan May. The slashing call sends 25 to the box. We are 2-2. Get late in period 2 on CSN. 2-2 here in Edmonton, and an interesting stretch of this 2nd period to come now with Washington shorthanded.
Yeah, and it's all on a slash. You see the forward Hall gets a step on Jason Chimera. There's the evidence for the referee. That stick broken in half. Chimera will have a CTK upcoming.
Trying to get on the game sheet in his hometown, and if Taylor Hall would have had one of those old Titans, it wouldn't have broke.
Power play stats are packaged by the UBS store. Jason Chimera, drafted by the Edmonton Oilers back in 1997. The draft that summer was conducted at the old Igloo in Pittsburgh. Jason told me earlier today it was the first time his parents were ever on a plane. They were there in Pittsburgh to see him get drafted in the 5th round by the local team.
120 games played here. He certainly blossomed after he moved.
Draisaitl fires wide of Braden Holtby. This is a 2-2 contest. 4.5 to go in the 2nd. Scrivens will tee it up for the turning Nikitin. Nikitin, 28-year-old Russian. Drops it off, Draisaitl, and then Purcell. Ran into trouble there. Trouble was named Nicholas Backstrom.
Great blue line defense by all 4 Caps. Both forwards, both defensemen holding the blue very well. Sticks in lanes and holding the fort.
Purcell angles in, rolls it back on top. Nikitin with a slap pass to Perron. Forced it through. Draisaitl inside on a bump set. Nikitin fires and scores!
No chance for Braden Holtby. A big screen in front. Nikitin unloads, and the puck is rolling, which is a nightmare. That baby just about curves into the top corner. Watch the bouncing puck. Bounces, bounces, rolls, rolls, and there it is on end. A hard puck to collect, an even harder puck for a goaltender to collect, coming on edge at him at 100 miles an hour.
And great work by Nail Yakupov to get in front of the net, right on top of the crease. There's no way Holtby can see through him, and that puck certainly had eyes.
Nikitin, who had an assist at Arizona, has a goal for himself now. Purcell has another helper, and Edmonton has the lead for the second time tonight. They had the opening strike from another blue liner named Justin Schultz. Carl Alsner for Washington. Johansson looking to play clear. Burakovsky 2-on-2 with Beagle. They crisscross. Burakovsky waiting for help. Finds it. Niskanen's drive deflected down and wide. Burakovsky out of the corner. Petrie there to maul him. Nugent Hopkins on a take back. Niskanen holds the line and pumps one right to the pad of Scrivens. Final 3 minutes, period 2. Nugent Hopkins exploring through center. Hall closing. Wrapped up there on the back, checked by Ward. Alsner arm in arm and round with Eberle. Nugent Hopkins has been very active in this second period. It's golf towards the cage and wide. Eberle putting some pressure on below the goal line. Fair 2-on-2 with Ward. Eric Fair content to roll it back behind Scrivens. Kuznetsov sweeps one to the front. He fanned on it for the most part. Yakupov the other way. Pouliot trying to go to the interior. Mike Green wasn't buying. Back come the Caps. A 4-on-3 develops. Fair sends one wide of the cage. Green has it for Washington. A Mike Green second period goal gave DC the lead. Edmonton has the last 2 strikes. Green finessed around Pouliot, knocked him down in the process. South of the goal line, Nikitin was waiting. Pouliot should get it out with Arcabello's help. He'll dump it in. Holtby will wander from the crease. Sweep it on around for Nate Schmidt, former All-American out of Minnesota. On the move through center, Brouwer overskates. Green will dump it in. No offsides there against Washington. Marincin to Arcabello on the breakout. Weaving through the traffic. Joensuu is crunched by Orpik. He delivers quite a boom when he hits you. Boyd Gordon intended for Matt Hendricks. Shoulder to shoulder there with Troy Brouwer. 80 seconds in the period. Backstrom waltzing through center. Ovechkin lets this one fly, deflected by Fane and out of play. Folks, we have McDonald's trivia for you tonight. Which of the top 10 goal scorers in NHL history, which of the top 10 has the most penalty minutes?
Yeah, we were all over this today when we talked about this, Joby. We've got
so
good answers. Yeah, we think we have some good answers.
So you think. You're looking for the top 10 goal scorers of all time. Which one racked up the most penalty minutes in his career? Petrie sends it for Andrew Ferentz. He'll distribute on for Boyd Gordon, only as far as the center stripe where Carlson will play back. 1 minute to go in the second period right now. We're going to whistle here in a hand pass against Edmonton.
Yeah, they thought they had a quick break there against Burakovsky and company, but they did not get the call they wanted there. David Perron struggling a little bit. Burakovsky again, a point here tonight. He's racking up the points as a young rookie in the NHL.
Before this day began, we expected 4 games on the NHL calendar tonight. Toronto at Ottawa, a game that was postponed in the aftermath of a shooting incident. If you missed it at the top of our telecast, a moment of silence out of respect to the fallen in Ottawa, the capital city of Canada. Dallas Eakins began his morning press conference addressing those matters as Scrivens has that one tied up to his pads long enough for a whistle.
And getting a lot of help from his teammates to boot. The Caps were hoping that baby would trickle open and through the pads because they had a lot of white jerseys, Joe B. He's having a hard time finding that puck. He still doesn't know where it is. Defenseman helping out. Good chance for Mojo and Beagle on the doorstep.
And impressive was Burakovsky, able to walk the blue line like he did, patient to go across, spins, gets that shot to the front of net, and Jay Beagle actually got that second shot locker through the pads there. Scrivens didn't know where it was. It was caught inside of his pads.
Lattice's intermission live coming up very soon on the net. 31.6 seconds to go in the middle frame. Fair wins the draw. Niskanen pumps one wide of the goal. Chases after his own rebound. Matt Niskanen on the delay. Eberle ties him up. Latta for Washington with a screen set by Chimera. Good save there by Scrivens. 15 seconds to operate. A last-ditch effort for Nugent Hopkins on the go with Hall. Knocked out of the air. Good stick by Mike Green. Chimera with 5 seconds to play. To the front. Trailing the play fair. Dribbled one to the goal mouth, and Fane takes it to safety as the second period expires.
Sorry, bud.
40 minutes complete in Edmonton. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Nicky Nikitin, both getting the better of Braden Holtby in that second period. Scrivens has a 3-2 lead to protect after 2. 3-2 Oilers lead after 4 minutes of play. Nicky Nikitin, a power play goal to give the homestanding Oilers the advantage. Joe Beninati, Craig Laughlin with you. Alan May is inside the glass. Thompson Creek window of opportunity. Look at what we have found here.
What came before VHS? How did we dub this to DVD? Look on the doorstep. There he is, our pal down ringside wearing number 32. Alan May gets his first ever on a Suter giveaway. Gets it past McCrimmon and their goaltender. He buries his first National Hockey League goal.
Now there's genuine enthusiasm. Well done, Alan. Well done.
Yeah, I was so enthusiastic because my sister and her best friend were sitting behind the net, and I didn't believe that red light actually went on. I had to double check the net to see that I actually scored. And it's funny, Gary Suter gave that puck away, and the next season I was playing for the Washington Capitals and living with Neil Sheehy. One of his best friends in the world is Gary Suter. I walk in the house one day, and Gary Suter's in the house. I walk in and say, "Thank you very much." And you can imagine what he said to me. It was pretty awesome.
And how about on the ice there, the Edmonton assistant coach, Keith Acton, Alan May.
Yeah, he looked the same then as he does now. No hair, but that guy could skate.
I played with him too.
Yeah, and what a miserable competitor. What a ratty guy to be on the ice with. He went hard every shift of every game he played, and he was like a little kid. I loved being around him.
No hair, just makes him more aerodynamic.
There he is on the right. Yep.
He's a speed skater back in the day.
Wore those old Lang skates.
Wouldn't matter what he wore, he could fly.
Those must have weighed about 30 pounds. Off we go in period number 3. Capitals trailing 3-2. The front end of a 3-game road swing through Western Canada. Next stop, Calgary. We'll have that one for you on Saturday night. The trip concludes in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia on Sunday. That one a little bit earlier than normal. It's a 9:30 start back home, 6:30 in BC. Ovechkin looking for Brouwer, steered away, and Taylor Hall drives back for the Oilers. On the overlap with Eberle, fires one wide. Carlson took away a shooting lane. Troy Brouwer for Washington. On the tape of Nicholas Backstrom, who wants a breather. Just about 1 minute into the third period, Backstrom picking up an assist tonight on a John Carlson power play goal, giving Nicholas point number 500 in the NHL. Perron flushed out there by Alsman. Burakovsky drags it on to Johansson. Niskanen away from Perron. The two teams at even in full strength. Ben Scrivens in the net for the Oilers. Braden Holtby in goal for Washington. We expect to see Justin Peters in one of the games over the weekend. The centering pass, Scrivens, the stop on Johansson. Purcell, who has a pair of helpers tonight for the Oilers. Ferentz goes off the glass. Burakovsky with some swagger through neutral. He'll dump it in. Shots on goal unofficially 22-15 favoring the Caps. A bad clearing attempt there. Ferentz fumbled it. Fair sends it behind the cage. Chimera took away the wall on the interchange with Ward. And then Fair on the cycle. Yakupov the other way, streaking back ahead for the Oilers. Tried to get that one to Pouliot. Nothing doing, says Jason Chimera. Loaded up for Schmidt. Roaring in, he fires a stick save for Scrivens. As the puck danced on the mesh there for a little bit, Nicky Nikitin does not get it out. Ward throws it back. Fair will funnel to Chimera. Then Ward drives. Stopped by Scrivens. Pouliot marching through neutral. Content to dump it in. Head coach Dallas Aikens.
Third period, they came charging out of the locker room. Much better forecheck. They're getting in deep. First man, good heat against the defense for Edmonton.
Kuznetsov there ahead of Marincin. Latta swivels away from Fane. Oilers have the puck. It's Eberle through center. Latta resurfacing with Kuznetsov. A drive off the chest pad of Scrivens. Hall wipes out into the boards, taken there awkwardly by Liam O'Brien. Up close and personal with Nugent Hopkins along the dasher. There's Orpik. Lets it fly, blocked by Fane. Just shy of the 4-minute mark in period 3. 3-2 for Edmonton. Caps playing without the services of Brooks Like an upper body injury. He's told everyone it's a shoulder problem. Injured it. Running into Sean Thornton, a rugged customer with Florida now. Icing call against Edmonton. The Caps' next home game, folks, Wednesday, October 29th. Detroit will be in town. Visit WashingtonCaps.com or call 800-745-3000 to purchase your tickets.
Everybody back in the studio getting ready for our post-game show, Joe B. Johnny and Al getting ready. A lot of people there watching the game. Tommy Morris is in the house. Alyssa, Courtney, obviously Kevin Santos, Matty Swiftman, all getting ready for our postgame. So please hang around after the game tonight.
Our thanks to everyone behind the scenes here and back home. The Caps postgame live presented by your DC area Acura dealers as Ovechkin steps in. Fancy moves! Stopped by Scrivens, and he juggled it right into his glove.
That's some nice handiwork right there by OV. First time he had a head of steam coming through the neutral zone. And he had good steam, and that made a good move against Scrivens. Here's the one look, little curl through the legs. Really nice play by Alex Ovechkin. Gets around Justin Schultz. Here he is on the backhand left side. Little fake, a little curl, and a good shot against Scrivens, who denies the Capitals captain.
Washington controls the draw. They've had the better of the play here in the first 5 minutes of the third period, needing one to tie Edmonton. Oilers in the midst of a 7-game homestand as Beagle works wide. Schultz is there to tend to him. Burakovsky slots one for Johansson. It dribbles to the doorstep. Racing back, Benoit Pouliot. 6 different teams with which he's worked now in the NHL. Yakupov roaring in. Nail Yakupov to Pouliot. Good defense by Niskanen. Counter punching. Here's Burakovsky and Johansson 2-on-2. Johansson fires. Blocker save by Scrivens was a real good one. Petrie, Ann Arbor, Michigan native who played at Michigan State. Go figure. On the run, it's Schmidt. Chimera hustling back. On the counterattack, Purcell's lead. Perron was in ahead of the play. It's offside against Edmonton.
At the other end of the ice, it's Scrivens, Ben Scrivens, minding the cage, and there's a special mask. He's got 4 of them made this year, all for mental health awareness. He'll wear 4 different masks, all designed by artists that have schizophrenia, Joe.
Really?
Yeah, and so he's using them for charity, so we send out our best. Hope he has great luck. He's going to auction them off. Remember that Lundqvist mask from the Winter Classic?
Oh, yeah.
He auctioned it off. It went to the New York Ranger charities, and it was $35,000.
Draisaitl and Perron working in the offensive zone now for the Oilers, trying to improve their 1-goal lead. Draisaitl, the 18-year-old, coughed it up. Chimera will roll it in.
And in social media, my daughter Courtney was talking about that. and the mask, because that was one of the hottest things trending on social media after he wore it for the first time on Monday night.
Walker, that social media is called Twitter, and something I'd like to tweet, I think the Capitals have to start getting more bodies to the front of the net. They're getting their shots, but they've got to have more urgency in getting bodies to the front of the net. I know I'm a broken record about it, but it works, and you've got to do it.
Alan, they've almost doubled up Edmonton in shots, as this is an icing call against the Oilers.
Well, one of the trends that we've seen under Barry Trotz is the Capitals being very stingy towards the other teams, not letting him get those opportunities. But tonight, the Edmonton Oilers have made the most of their opportunities. They've crashed the net when need to. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scored that second goal for the Oilers. Normally he passes off, but the coaches are in his ears to shoot more, and he laid a beautiful shot by Holtby.
Nugent-Hopkins, number 4 on the Edmonton point-scoring list a season ago. The Capitals have outshot Edmonton to this point in the third period, 7-zip. Latta goes to the boards with Ferentz. Eberle waits. On to Taylor Hall. Whoa, he just got down in time. Ovechkin lined him up through center. Holtby swats it on around to a turning Latta. He's crunched by Ferentz. Carlson gets up into the play. Gliding in, Kuznetsov hooks one to the goal mouth, and Scrivens makes the save. Carlson's been dangerous tonight. Brouwer playing defense on for Ovechkin, working in 1 against 3. Picking up Carlson through neutral. For Ovechkin, stopped by Scrivens. That was a dandy, and then the net is knocked off of its moorings.
Yeah, he was knocked down, as was the net. Good net drive there by Mojo. Gives him a little tap. Great opportunity for the Caps here in the third period. 13-19 left as we take a look at this last opportunity. The Caps pushing the pace, looking to get the tire here in the third.
Carlson bagging a power play goal.
And the Capitals defense get involved again, Joe B. What a nice shot there by Mike Green on a Burakovsky pass. But the go-ahead goal for the Edmonton Oilers is off this guy's stick. They call him Nicky now. Nicky Nikitin has the go-ahead goal, and it's 3-2 in the third.
It has been a dominating third period so far for Washington, at least territorially, and on the shots on goal scoreboard. It is still 3-2 Edmonton favor as the Oilers are trying to win back-to-back games. Washington comes in on a 2-game win streak. The only team in the Eastern Conference without a regulation loss are the guys in the white jerseys.
And there's only 3 overall. Nashville and Chicago join the Caps in that category.
5-on-5 play here. Burakovsky slithers out of the corner with Johansson in tight quarters. Switch it up for Green. Wrister on the way. Scrivens shuttles over to make that stop. Beagle, as usual, a bloodhound on the boards. No pun intended. Green settles and fires. That one floats. It's jammed aside by Scrivens. Beagle did not interchange there with Johansson. The Oilers will short-circuit that and get the puck back through center. Joensuu gets it deep. Green uncontested in his own zone. Winding up with Nate Schmidt. On target to Backstrom. Nicholas closing on the drop. Tried to thread that one for Ovechkin. Alex from his knees played it back to the point. Nobody was home. John Carlson looks up, trying to create for Troy Brouwer. It comes to length. And this is icing against Washington.
Not much action in your zone, Alan May. The Caps really forechecking to start this third period, huh?
Well, they're doing an excellent job, and one of the big things and the reasons why is when the Caps defensemen get the puck inside the neutral zone or back in their own zone, the Capitals are coming back hard, picking up speed and getting down the ice, creating odd man rushes, now attacking the net and not passing up opportunities to shoot that puck every chance they have.
Have a look at the cheap shots on net, especially in the third period. Fane drills this one wide. Washington, a 12-1 leader in that statistical category, has not turned on a light yet behind Scrivens in this third period. 11.5 with which to work. Carlson sends it on around for Ovechkin. Backstrom through center, tiptoeing there with a grade 8. Ovechkin picking up steam, ran into a defender, Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl selected 3rd overall in the recent draft. Aaron Ekblad went 1, Sam Reinhart 2. Ekblad to Florida, Reinhart to Buffalo. Ward on the clear ahead. Backstrom into the corner. Petrie was there. On for Perron. Joel Ward, Jason Chimera stacked up along the boards. Andrew Ferentz has always been a nimble skater, and he gets out of the traffic. But this is going to be offside against Washington. Folks, we had McDonald's trivia for you earlier in the night. It involved a question regarding the top 10 goal scorers in history. But which one of them had the most penalty minutes in their career?
I'm going with the Moose, Mark Messier. That's my pick.
I agree with you.
And that was the only name I thought of going in there.
Winner, winner, Mark Messier. All those goals. .1910 PIMs in Messier's career.
That'll do it.
We were looking. Gordie Howe didn't have nearly that many. Gretzky, of course, not so. Kuznetsov to the goal mouth. Yakupov on the run, able to send this one along.
It was cool. During intermissions, you walk down the hall, you see Kevin Lowe, you see Craig McTavish, see Dave Semenko hanging out just down the hallway here. All the great Oilers.
Niskanen fires, stick save Scrivens. That's who that was.
Yes, Dave Semenko.
Oh, he frightened me.
Like
yes.
about 3 times your size.
Yeah,
he's like a building.
He did scare me.
How do you think I felt when I skated alongside him?
That's who that was.
You don't say, hey, get out of my way to him.
Sir.
Yes, sir. You can have the puck on that week for a little bit. It's okay.
That's who that was.
Yeah.
Oh, large individual.
Yeah, I think he's one of the big scouts here for the Edmonton Oilers.
Big, no doubt. Beagle able to play it back to center. Boyd Gordon is there. Long-time Washington Capitol property. 8 full years in the DC lineup. Gordon scampers into the offensive zone. Looking for Joensuu. That was pickpocketed by Green. Jesse Joensuu, long-time Islander property. Below the goal line to Gordon. Swivels one right to the front. Holtby the save. Time's a-wasting now. We're more than halfway through the third period. Ferentz clears in. Aikens will shuffle the deck for Edmonton. Schmidt zigs and zags out of his own zone. Nate Schmidt drops it off for Ovechkin. Quick pass to the interior. Backstrom finds Carlson for a BB that was blocked. Taylor Hall did not clear. Nugent Hopkins will. Backtracking, it's Marincin. Icing is washed out. Eberle stopped in his tracks by Orpik. The Oilers will just ladle this to center. Picked up on the run by Hall. Hall kicking it from skate to stick. Eberle on the cycle. Hall fires, stick save Holtby. Give him 14 in the contest. Backstrom wanders ahead. Delicately on for Ovechkin on the drop pass. Look at this. Orpik's drive was stopped by Eberle.
They were getting a lot of blocked shots for the Oilers, really helping out their goalie Scrivens. The Capitals have carried this game into the third. They've carried the third dramatically, just haven't got that extra shot through to Scrivens.
Edmonton to this point in the season's been outscored 10-4 in the third period. The Caps are hoping that will increase. Ward throws it back into the pack. Dealt with there and played on. As we hear the whistle, a chance for us to duck away. We'll get you back to Rexall Place in just a few moments. Jason Chimera back on home turf.
Games this weekend and then a home game against the Red Wings. 185 miles or so to Calgary tonight. Then 600 miles from Calgary to Van. Then we got the Wings at home. And then at Tampa Bay and against Arizona. I always want to say Phoenix.
Arizona Coyotes on November 2nd. The Red Wings on Wednesday. That game aired nationally on NBCSN. We are on Comcast Sportsnet tonight. 7:40 to go. Rexall Place, the home of the Edmonton Oilers, and in the junior ranks, the Edmonton Oil Kings.
Yeah, they were all here at practice watching the Caps and Oilers this morning. They actually have a dressing room right in this building. This is their home turf. Memorial Cup was played last year, Joe B, in London, and they involved the London Knights from the Quebec League Val d'Or, Guelph from the OHL, and this team. And it took them an overtime, the longest game in Memorial Cup history, to down Val d'Or to finally get to the championship where they doubled up Guelph.
As if this rink needs more banners.
Yeah, amazing.
They're everywhere in the rafters here at Rexall.
And in Canada, the three leagues are the OHL, which is like the London Knights and Dale Hunter's group. Then you have the Quebec League, and then you have the WHL, the Western Hockey League, which a lot of the Caps have come out of, along with the OHL and the Quebec leagues.
This is Taylor Hall on the move, crisscrossing with Eberle. Eberle on the delay, did not toe drag around John Carlson. Carlson and Green, the goal scorers for the Caps if you're just tuning in. Edmonton, one better. The lead goal coming from a defender, Nicky Nikitin. Justin Schultz, another blue liner, is on the board, as well as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for the locals, who are trying to get their second win of the young season. 6:50 to play in the third. Backstrom finds some room. Alsner, Ovechkin chunked that one-timer. Nicholas pinned to the boards by Arcabello. Brouwer gets involved in the act. He's bulldozed down to the deck. Giving him a rough run there was Nikitin. Ovechkin with a long wristed deflection try for Brouwer came on through. Oilers relieving the pressure. Aikens wants the line change. Pouliot speeds after Niskanen. Looking for the Caps captain. Ovechkin, a long send away, was hoping for Latta. David Perron will clear back in.
Yeah, it's just about a prevent defense for the Edmonton Oilers. They get the puck. They don't want to do much offensively. They're just dumping it away, which has allowed the Capitals to carry the play because they've had the puck the whole period.
You just saw the shots on goal at the top of the screen, favoring the Caps 13-2. Marincin lost it. Kuznetsov over skates. Even in full strength, 5-on-5, 5:44 to go in the third. Green on a long send away to O'Brien. Kuznetsov one hands it wide to Ben Scrivens. Taken by Ferentz, shoveled on around. Oilers make a break for it. Petrie leads the thrust 3-on-3. Draisaitl to Purcell, blocked. And the rebound is about 3 rows in the spectator seats. We'll get you back to Edmonton for this one's exciting conclusion. Caps trailing by 1. Oilers have a 3-2 lead on home ice. As always, we want you Caps fans involved on Twitter, #CapitalsTalk. Our question tonight was, which NHL player from the past would you want to have seen play in person? A number of answers coming in from our Capitals supporters.
Let's take a look at some of the answers here flowing in tonight. Gretzky, I'd like to see every game he played.
Rod Langway, for those who didn't see him, that was quite a force on D.
Boom Boom Jeffrey Onning, Guy Lafleur.
For myself, loving goaltenders as much as I have from my younger days, I would have loved to have seen Jacques Plante or Terry Sawchuk in action. And the other one that really jumps out to me that I did not see, I believe I saw his brother play, but I would have loved to have seen Rocket Richard in person.
Yeah, Rocket Richard, any of those guys in person, Jean Beliveau, how great that would have been. I would have loved to see Bobby Hull. I saw him on TV a lot, never saw him in person down at Maple Leaf Gardens as a youngster.
Hey, Locker, I've got you beat there. I saw Bobby Hull, Wayne Gretzky, Gordie Howe on a line in the World Hockey Association.
Oh, how great is that?
I saw all those Swedes in Winnipeg in the old days. And I actually saw Jacques Plante play hockey, so I had a pretty rich childhood when it came to watching hockey players.
Well done.
Well done. I thought you were older than me.
What, 20 years younger than you, kiddo?
The NHL on Comcast Sportsnet. Alan May inside the glass with us tonight. Fair pulls the trigger. It was blocked. Sacrificing his body there and now hobbling off the ice. Nicky Nikitin. Holtby sends it on around for John Carlson. Boyd Gordon on the intercept. Pad save, rebound. Del Tie with a little help. Niskanen was on guard for Hendricks. Craig, earlier in the night we had this Voice on Value presented by Morgan Franklin Consulting.
Yeah, it was all about being top heavy, and that was the Edmonton Oilers, and the Capitals had to shut them down. Nugent-Hopkins on that top line with Eberle and Hall. He's the only guy that has a point out of that top trio, so the Caps have done a pretty good job against Nuge, Joby, and their line.
Nuge. Taylor Hall, who scored on a penalty shot against Ben Bishop and the Tampa Bay Lightning here back on Monday. Hall with goals in 2 of his last 3. There's that 22-year-old Calgary native.
Yeah, we talked about junior hockey and that. He actually won 2 Memorial Cups, Joe B. Taylor Hall.
Windsor in the Ontario Hockey League, the favored team for Taylor. Draisaitl bending to the task with Beagle. Jay Beagle wins the draw. Beagle making his first impression in the Washington lineup off the injured list. Jack Hillen, a healthy scratch tonight, along with Chris Brown. Caps also, of course, playing without those injured that we have addressed, including Brooks Light. Draisaitl from the angle. No worries there for Holtby, and he'll squeeze.
He's had pretty good legs as Draisaitl. You know, he's a young kid that can still be sent back to junior, just 18 years old. He gets a good shot away. Bouncing puck. He's a lean kid. You know, a stringy type kid, tall and lean, growing to his body, but that was a heck of a good skate that he got that shot away on.
Backstrom to take an important defensive zone draw here. Nicholas has won close to 54% in this young season. Jay Beagle's the man who's having the blockbuster night at the faceoff. Dottie's won 8 of 10. Brower towards the cage, deflected high and wide. 5-on-5 they skate. 3:24 to go in the third. Schmidt on through Ovechkin. Resurfacing with a puck through center. The Oilers have it. It's Jesse Joensuu. Schmidt off for Carlson on the headman to Backstrom. Ovechkin lets this one fly, blocked by Fane, and Scribbins wants the rebound, and then there's a heavy collision to the boards.
And it's that guy right there, Nick Backstrom, got a big point in this game early on, his 500 career point, takes a heavy tumble there, tripped up a little bit. Here's what it sounds like down at ice level here on CSN. Wow, he's lucky he got his head turned around at the end of that, Joby.
Yeah, that's the scariest thing in hockey is the defenseman as well going in there. Lucky he turned sideways on that, and good for Petrie as well that he didn't take a header.
Backstrom with points in 4 of his last 5 outings. He blitzed Edmonton for 5 points in 2 Capitals victories a season ago. A little bit more than 3 minutes with which to work now. We'll keep our eyes on Braden Holtby at the other end of the rink, see when Barry Trotz will lift him for the extra skater if need be. Eberle on the hop. Jordan Eberle fenced in by Green. Niskanen pressured from Nugent Hopkins. Chimera floats it through center. Sent in by Kuznetsov. Jason Chimera in hot pursuit. Hall connecting the dots with Eberle, but it bounced off of his blade. 2.5 to go. Nice pass to Kuznetsov through center from Green. Chimera towards the goal, booted away. Hall works back craftily through center to the outside on Carlson. Ties him up along the dasher board. 2:10 left. Oilers are happy to play it in deep. Green in possession for Washington. Personnel changes on both sides. Johansson glides in. Pulls up. Split 2 defenders, but lost possession of the puck. 1:50 to go. Holtby looking to the bench for instructions. Alsner drops it on for Johansson. Ran right into Benoit Pouliot. On the headman, Yakupov. Poke check by Holtby. Beagle sends it on. Petrie is waiting at the center line. He'll force Washington back. 90 seconds to go. Burakovsky sidesteps a defender. On to Carlson. The cheers of "Let's go Oilers" as Holtby's on the bench. 6 attackers on. Johansson towards the cage, wide of the goal, guarded by Ben Scribbins. Carlson waits, pulls the trigger, had it blocked. 70 seconds left. Edmonton able to clear. Eric Fair reels it in.
And the second layer of defense for the Oilers. You have 3 layers of defense. It's the second layer that the Caps are having a lot of shots blocked. They've got to get it through the second and third to get it onto Scribbins.
Backstrom protects the puck, back to Green. Final minute of regulation, long drive. Niskanen deflected wide. Brouwer was alone in front there for a split second. Niskanen has it at point position, brings it this way to Green. Green for Fair. Brouwer or Ovechkin. His pass blocked. Everly skies one to center and all the way down. Icing is washed out. 27 seconds to go. Empty net at the Washington end. 6 attackers on. Green finds Backstrom. On the delay, beautiful pass to Ward. Ward fires. That's blocked by Nugent Hopkins. 14 seconds to go. Ovechkin ties up on the boards. Back to point position. Backstrom lets it fly wide of Scrivens. 6 seconds to go. Ovechkin's relay came right back to the point. Backstrom lines in, fires, blocked down, and the siren sounds. Edmonton escapes a 3-2 winner.
Gutsy effort there by Edmonton and their top line blocking some shots. Barry Trotz's team could not buy a goal. They threw everything they possibly could at Scrivens. No puck luck tonight to start their road trip in Edmonton.
Ben Scrivens with 32 stops. This evening's Caps player of the game, sponsored by the Palm Restaurant. We'll choose Nicholas Backstrom.
Yeah, he's got an assist, had some hits, created offense, but it's this 500th career point that is so deserving to get our Palm Restaurant Capitals player of the game here tonight.
That goal tied the score at 1. Nicky Nikitin's second period tally stands up. A 3-2 victory for the Oilers. For Craig Laughlin, for Alan May, for all the men and women in our crew, Joe Beninati, thanks for your time. We'll see you on Saturday. Caps Calgary 10 Eastern. Up next is Caps Postgame Live. Al Koken, Brent Johnson standing by in the studio. Washington falls in Edmonton.